Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Google Hangout here. It's Glenn Dietzel here, live from the Canadian Lake Home. And we have a little bit of, we've had some issues recently doing our Google Hangouts. The last two, we attempted to do them from the Vegas Sandcastle. I did a one-day breakthrough private intensive last Sunday, and we were going to do a live Google Hangout from there, and then also during our Omega Mind event at the Vegas Sandcastle. Unfortunately, due to the bandwidth issues because of all the attendees and the drag from all the attendees, we had issues actually getting onto our Google Hangout. So those of you that showed up or tried to show up and couldn't, I apologize for that. We had too many people at the exclusive event that I did. So it's a good thing. It's also has its negative reverberations because you couldn't attend. But, however, we are doing a Google Hangout today. We've been successfully able to get online. We've had some issues from our own international office. It's like technology right now, issues, and today it's an extremely bright day. And I wanted to do our Google Hangout where we have been doing them off and on, live from where we hold our Omega Mind events, right here at the Canadian Lake Home. We did our last one at the Vegas Sandcastle, just due to weather constraints where we live and all the snow, cold weather that we've been getting, so we decided to go south for our last Omega Mind event. So for those of you that are new to our Google Hangouts, I might appear a little bit orange today, and it's due to the fact that we have a few lighting issues with the fact that it is just so bright today with all the snow. You'll take a look here. We are just beautiful, just covered with snow here, a ton of it. And it's been icy cold here the entire month of January, and as we move into February here, we've had record-breaking low temperatures a couple of days. And so anyways, I decided to come back from our international office, do the training today here for 30 minutes with you, and give you an opportunity to leverage a completely new model around creating royalties, passive streams of income for your business. If you're a coach or you're a consultant, if you're just new in business and coaching and consulting, you're going to love what I show you and teach you today. And you're probably going to want to draw a few pictures. I've got a few here that I've drawn out for you just so that you understand quicker and faster. And if you've been following us, you know that the human mind processes, and we can help you speed up transactions in the marketplace by creating visual spatial representations. And picture yourself being able to close deals a lot faster and a lot quicker, i.e. 10 times faster, the size of deal, the number of deals, and also being able to translate your value not only into active income, but more importantly into passive streams of income. So we're going to talk about that today. It's one of the huge aha moments that a lot of people had at the Vegas Sandcastle when I was there. And so I want to talk to you about that today, because I know that if people had, those were huge aha moments for them and they had questions around that, that I know you probably do also. So before we get started here onto this, though, I'd like to share with you we took some pictures here. There will be no orangey glow on my face here. And I hope all of you know I like to do my Google Hangouts from different locations around the world, and sometimes it creates a little bit of a lighting issue, but I want you to know that you're not here to really see my face per se, other than I want you to learn from me, and I want to help you and teach you in the most accelerated ways to build business. This was the Vegas Sandcastle Business Intensive that we did. It was an exclusive event. We did this last Sunday, and as I said, I tried to do a Google Hangout from the Vegas Sandcastle. However, because of the bandwidth issues with so many people being online and so many people, we were packed out, we couldn't get online. This is a picture. You can see here, we took a few pictures here, so you can take a look at some of the pictures here. From the Sandcastle. These were some of the attendees here, a few of them that you'll see here, and we had an amazing time. The event ran approximately 14 hours, and when I warned people that they're going to be intense, I mean, my days are intense, and everybody was blown away by the level of content sophistication. We also have for those of you that are new to our program, our Omega Mind program, which is a unique, completely different model around masterminding and building out a certification co-branding program that teaches you how to leverage the luxury home coaching and consulting model. We'll have more to say about that on another Google Hangout. But our Omega Mind members crossed over, cross-pollinated, if you will, the one-day intensive here. And we had an amazing one-day intensive. So these were some of the pictures, and we have as I said, we have a documentary, a full-length documentary being created for the one-day intensive. We actually had a former vice president, presidential candidate here, Wayne Allen Root, who was in attendance at the Vegas Sandcastle. I interviewed just before Christmas some of our clients again, and we do that over and over again. We go through periods where we interview clients, and I come back to teaching, and I like to teach through my clients, and I like to do things completely different so that my clients, and this is why we created our Google Hangouts, so we can help our clients execute a lot faster and a lot more strategically. This is Chris Smith and Susan Smith. I interviewed the two of them. If you were on a Google Hangout before Christmas, you saw me interview the two of them. They're closing, I believe, about $1.3 million in deals in December, the busiest month ever in business, in a month where they're normally on vacation. They have so much business coming in a frenetic state right now of accelerated growth. Totally exciting. I'm just really excited about what our systems have been able to do for our clients. This is Leland Taylor. I interviewed Leland a couple of years ago. Leland at the time was the youngest, used our predictable, certain, and secure systems to close a $35,000 coaching program at the age of 26. Leland was the youngest person that I know of. I believe he set an internet record online producing and selling a program of that size at such an early age. And it's no wonder because he's utilizing the same systems that I teach all of our clients. So those are just some of what happened at the Vegas Sandcastle. Gives you a chance to connect with or meet some of the clients that we've impacted in the marketplace over the last 12 years. And we've got a really cool model. If you want to position and sell very high-end programs and services, and you want to do it in the fastest time possible, leveraging a certification co-branding program that ties into what we teach our Omega Mind members around how to access luxury homes. We call it the luxury home coaching and consulting model, is off the charts hot. I will be interviewing one of my clients within the next week, I hope. He's on a speaking engagement right now, but from scratch was able to close 6 programs in his own high-end mastermind group of $12,000, so 6 times 12, $72,000. Profit margins just about 96.5%. And what I want you to see is that when you are able to leverage what I'm teaching you in building accelerated cash flow, you can grow your company a lot faster without having to be dependent on banks, without having to be dependent on venture capitalists, without putting yourself, if you will, in in a financial situation that doesn't necessarily feel very comfortable. So building cash flow is crucial. And I'll tell you this, my father-in-law, both of them retired CPAs, both of them always preached when they were in the business world about their mantra was cash flow. Businesses have to be able to cash flow their growth, especially small businesses, or it can lead to some serious problems. So that's the power of creating royalties for your business. And I see so many service providers today who are either utilizing misinformation or outdated advice, or they're simply executing incorrectly, and it's costing them not only ROI, return on investment, but ROIT, return on invested time. So I want you to write that down. Concept of ROIT. We're going to talk a little bit about that We talk about an entirely new model for coaches and consultants, for any trainers, for educators, to be able to leverage what they do once and be able to leverage over and over and over again. Not around a licensing model, because if you try to, and as I explained at the one-day intensive, if you try to attach any kind of service around a licensing model, you're really creating a franchise, and you will be shut down, especially if you live in North America and many parts of the world today, because ruling government bodies will say that you're not a licensing entity, really. You are a franchising entity. And I'll tell you this right now, that the franchising model for service-based industries like coaching and consulting is a recipe for disaster. So it's not licensing, it's not franchising. There's another way of building out and strategically positioning your advice to create royalties. So we're going to talk about that today, all right? So I want to, though, first of all, highlight with you a system. And I've drawn out here the word time and the box, if you will, and then at the bottom here, small $sign and ROI. All right, and the reason why I've done this here, so you can see if we'll fit it all into one screen here, is because I see this is the recipe here, I believe, that so many coaches and consultants are following today, and they simply don't understand business, and they don't understand marketing, they don't understand cash flow, they don't understand true accelerated entrepreneurship, and that's why these Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts exist. And that's why people invest in our Omega Mind program, because they want to pay for the best and only cry once, and they want to be able to master business so they can take the predictable, certain, and secure systems that I teach them and leverage them over and over and over again in a highly predictable, proven manner. So the reason why I drew what I did is because this model, I really believe, and the reason why I drew a small $sign at the bottom here and a small ROI, if you will, is because most people are following bad advice or they're following misinformation in the coaching and consulting industry. Particularly those coaches and consultants who want to be certified, who maybe currently are being certified by a certification body. We've created a whole new certification model that I'm going to show you today. But the problem with the certification body is it's not teaching coaches and consultants to be better entrepreneurs, to increase the size and number of transactions. It's not focusing on the core elements of business. And that's what we're all about, isn't it? We all want to be able to close bigger deals, attract the kinds of clients that we really want to attract, to be able to work a lot more efficiently and effectively, where we can maybe cut our sales cycle down by at least a half, right? We can cut our sales cycle down maybe even by 2/3, like many of our clients do. And what that allows you to do is truly begin to build a lifestyle business. Because one of the things that I'll tell you is it's so much easier to position a high-end program or service. So the problem with this model right here, just drew a simplified diagram here, is that the components of evaluating your advice, bringing your advice to market, how to create a value proposition, how to sell, how to market, profit margins are not aligned properly to leverage the advisory age, and you simply, coaches and consultants, most of them are trading time for money in the industry of coaching, particularly. Somewhere around 82 to 83% of coaches fail to make a profit. It's not that they don't make money, but when the end of the day is they're not making enough money. And I'll tell you right now, if you're just starting out in business and you don't have a model to get you as quickly as possible to $250,000, you are not going to survive. And rule number 2, so I call it the $250,000 mark. Rule number 2 is the next mark you need to hit right away is $500,000. If you don't know how to get to $500,000 right away, you're not going to have the cash flow to be able to invest back into your company and into yourself. So my rule is this: $500,000, you've got to get to it as quickly as possible. And that's why our Omega Mind members, for those that are just in startup mode, invest, because the goal is to get to $500,000 right away. And if you think about it, closing, $50,000 deals, how many $50,000 programs do you need to get to $500,000, right? And when you do the math, you need 10, right? And if I were to ask you how many $15 ebooks or books do you need to sell to get to $500,000, and you start doing the numbers, and I hope all of you see, we're not going to play with our calculators today, and we've done other training on that, on the law of numbers for coaches and consultants, and why most coaches and consultants don't build a model that truly elevates their intellectual property, elevates their assets, not only in producing cash flow, but most importantly, the kind of cash flow that I want to talk to you today around royalties, and two types of royalties in particular. So what happens to most coaches and consultants? They fall victim to a model here where they're trading time for low-end ROI, so trading time for money, and they're getting caught up in all the misinformation, bad advice around high-priced copywriters, positioning low-priced programs, that's what they lead with, and utilizing all kinds of convoluted business funnels. I see this a ton. People are investing so much time and money in the wrong areas of business. And these are just 3 examples of the wrong areas of business that our clients love our systems, because you don't need a website, you don't even need a presentation, you don't need copywriters, you don't need long 27-page agreements and all that kind of stuff. You don't need any of that. And those are the kinds of things that people that start building some traction in the market, they start thinking they need all of this, and it ends up taking away your traction. So if you want to make quantum leaps, predictable, measurable quantum leaps in your business, you're going to want to pay particular attention. The reason why I drew the middle section here, if you will, in red, around trading time for money and some of the bad advice that I believe leads coaches and consultants today to just trading time for money and focusing on, exchanging their value for $200 per hour, for example, or positioning a lot of time around promoting a book, a $15, $19 book. It just builds no momentum. And again, what's rooted in the middle, or what's rooted in this model, is the fact that it's built around the traditional business funnel that I just drawn here, with layers of increased higher-end programs and services. In the reality in today's advisory age, that this model here totally takes away from your strategic positioning. It doesn't provide you the kind of leverage in the advisory age. So this model doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it simply doesn't build traction for you in the marketplace today. Those of you that are just jumping on, and I notice our numbers have been going up extensively here. I am maybe a little bit off color today. It's because we do different venues, and we're doing this from the Canadian Lake Home, because last couple that I've done from our international office, we've had some internet issues. It's complicated. I've got our IT team, and our last 2 Google Hangouts from Vegas, we had IT issues. So I figured I'd come back to the Canadian Lake Home. I didn't realize it was going to be so bright today. So we've tried to light up here. I didn't get a chance to set up the lighting, all the lighting that I needed to create some more light. We've had some very cloudy days recently, and all of a sudden today it's so bright, but it's actually very, very majestic here if you take a look behind me. So I want to welcome you. So what we're going to do instead, and I know what you want, because I've been doing this for 12 years, and I know I know the coaching and consulting industry really well. First of all, you want to build a better model, a more intelligent model, and you want to do it in a way that's going to completely, if you will, flip your thinking and change your way of seeing the world and seeing business. One of the speed to market principles that you've probably heard me say, and definitely my clients, is that in today's marketplace, it's all around knowing how to generate newer and faster conversations. And those of you that attended our Breakthrough Private Letter Formula, which is a very strategic system, one of the hundreds that I showcased on our one-day intensive. And if you'd like to be part of the next one-day intensive that I'm going to do, we're going to have some, we're going to show you where you can get in on the queue, because the queue is huge already. We booked out on the last one that I did in about 24 hours. Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, well, it was at about 48 hours. The last one in about 24 hours. And the next one, you know, technically is probably already booked because of the number of people in the queue. So if you would like to attend a one-day business intensive, it'll totally transform the way that you see business. You'll definitely want to get in the queue, and we'll be sending out some information about that. It's just to get on the list so you can get the first notifications before we contact anybody else. And the days are intense, and you get a chance to work with me directly, take a look at a lot of our systems, just like I showed you with Business Breakthrough, our Breakthrough Private Letter Formula on how to get open rates in your email that are virtually almost 100% with anybody that you want to go after. The CEOs of any major Fortune 500 company, strategic partners, clients that you want to invite into your own one-day intensives, etc. And if you're not doing one-day intensives, if you're not following our luxury home coaching and consulting model, it's all the more reason why you're going to want to check out our qualification process and be vetted directly by me, Glenn Dietzel, because everybody is, with Omega Mind, and meet with some amazing people. I just showed you, those of you that were here on time at the very beginning of our Google Hangout, I introduced you to some of our clients, and I've been doing that on our Google Hangouts. You see the kind of people that we attract, and we just had, for those of you that I haven't yet had a chance to connect with, on our private trainings, we've got one, we've got several this week, but I just got back from Vegas, and an amazing time with my Omega Mind members, and really look forward to some of the really cool things that I've got planned for you. And there'll be some more details about that this week. So what we want to do then, and what I hope you're seeing right now, is that executing in this model right here is absolutely, bottom line, it doesn't give you strategic positioning, and it doesn't allow you to leverage the realities of the advisory age. Just like the medical profession does. The medical profession knows we live in the advisory age, right? If you've ever had a serious injury or any kind of potential injury or illness or something, or you've had to bring in your child to emergency, right? What is the emergency? What happens when you first get into the emergency ward of a hospital? You are triaged, right? Anytime you see your doctor, you are triaged. You're evaluated very quickly and assessed what seems to be the problem, and the medical profession puts you into a 4-category system of readiness, or who's going to see the doctor first, or even worse, and hopefully you never have to go through this, but wheeled up immediately into surgery because of something that is seriously wrong. So in today's marketplace, in the advisory age, you want to build the same way that the medical profession does. They assess and then they prescribe. Assess, prescribe. Assess, prescribe. And yet what happens with the traditional business funnel here, the assessment, no strategic assessment happens on the front end. The goal is to get somebody into a low-end product and then bring them into higher-end programs and services. And all the while, you're left with trying to assess your marketplace every single time. And if you don't give them the right prescription, and in the advisory-based age, the right prescription, and your ideal clients want a high-end program or service, that's your ideal client. You work less with them. They are going to execute faster. They are going to become your ideal clients that are going to give you the recommendations, the social proof that you desire and absolutely need. And most importantly, they're going to be the ones that truly implement what it is that you teach them. So for a whole bunch of reasons, you want to flip the funnel. So I want to challenge you right now to flip your thinking and do what I'm just telling you right now. So instead of, this is kind of represents the inverted business funnel, narrow at the top, if you will, and driving people automatically into a high-end program or service by knowing how to leverage your time very strategically. That leverages an ROIT business, not an ROI business, but an ROIT business. You see, when you have an ROIT business, then you're able to make serious money. Not just serious cash flow actively, but also passively. And that's what we all want, right? As trainers, as educators, as people that care about our clients, care about our industry, sick and tired of people that hype everything in our marketplaces to the nth degree, feel like we're being held hostage to hiring out a $25,000, $30,000 price copywriter. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of that. I've been in the industry for 12 years, and there is a part of this industry that sickens me and saddens me at the same time. Sickens me because I see people going down the wrong path with bad information. Saddens me because I see people's hopes and their dreams just literally being decimated because they're truly not following a model that takes them from frustration to freedom. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. And I'm here to enjoy the journey with you as a client of what we do, of Omega Mind, and joining an elite force of entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurs, and many of them who are in startup mode. And we want clients from all different industries in different levels of business sophistication. Why? Because we have a documentary being created. And I believe this. I believe that true business acceleration and the fundamentals that I'm teaching you on our Google Hangouts around business breakthroughs, they are good for a billionaire, somebody who's built $1 billion company, and somebody who's just in startup mode and is maybe in a transition or wants to transition from whatever it is that you're doing right now into something business related. So I believe, and that's where the power of our accelerated teaching and learning processes come into play. I believe that if you teach in the proper way, that all clients at all levels of business background can accelerate at the same rate. In fact, as I just shared with my Omega Mind members, and I shared at the one-day Vegas Sandcastle Intensive that I did last Sunday, I truly believe that the clients that make the fastest growth are those that are in startup mode. Why? Because they don't have all of the negative friction or drag from doing things the wrong way or seeing a paradigm around business that simply doesn't work in the advisory triage age. The triage age, the age of assessing a marketplace and then prescribing the right antidote or prescription for that marketplace. So in order to build a proper ROIT business, you need to understand in the advisory age the 3 learning domains. And I just want to build off this really quickly here. A stands for the area of the attitudinal domain, or how you want your target market to see its problem. All right, so I've drawn a dotted box around the inverted business funnel, or the triangle here. And you want to focus, first of all, when you're strategically educating your marketplace, on how you're going to build the problem. Then you want to focus on the K. And the K is simply your knowledge that comes from the School of Hard Knocks. What is it that you want your target market to see? So how you want them to see, which is the problem, what you want them to see, which is the solution, which is the it's directly equated with the problem. And the real money is knowing how is the S domain of learning and teaching. And that's knowing how to teach your target market how to get the results that they're really after. So knowing how to frame what it is that you do, how you want them to see the problem, what you want them to see, and how you want them to execute. The S are critical to building an ROIT business, return on invested time, because there's only 3 learning domains in the area of accelerated learning and teaching. And why this is so important is this. When you understand accelerated learning and teaching, you're able to execute a lot faster and a lot quicker in your own business, which means you get faster results. And when you're able to reproduce and the leverage, and I want you to understand this, reproduction, okay, write that down. Reproduction is what is crucial in building an ROIT business and turning active income into passive income. So how do you reproduce that so your own clients get the same kind of accelerated results that you did? And you see, when you master that, you master the law of modeling. The law of modeling. And what does the law of modeling say? The law of modeling says this, that the fastest way, I believe, that you can communicate success to your clients or your potential clients is through modeling. Modeling is the #1 way that we learn. We talk about modeling, and that's why I did our pre-Omega Mind event, one-day intensive at the Vegas Sandcastle. The last one we did, Christmas at the Canadian Lake Home, is so that people get a chance, to take a look at what we do. They get a chance to model what I tell them that I want them to do if they're truly interested in selling $5,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 programs. If they really want to build a really cool model around building high-end programs and services and also building passive streams of income. So in order to do that then, in order to leverage accelerated teaching and learning, you want to start with strategic positioning, commanding top dollar for your advice, and building off 2 types of royalties, okay? So when you execute in these 3 areas, strategic positioning, being able to command top dollar, being able to generate 2 types of royalties for your coaching and consulting programs and services, you are truly be able to tap into ROIT, return on invested time. So the time you're putting into your business, you're able to reproduce that time over and over and over again. Okay, so this whole concept of reproduction is what is inherent within ROIT, return on invested time. So you're reproducing time. And you see, most service-based providers today, most coaches and consultants, sorry, I think I've got fleas. Most coaches and consultants do not have a model that allows them to reproduce time. And you've probably all heard